What's up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about retention. This is one of the main stats that matters in YouTube. But before we get to that, I want to let you guys know this is an FFA round playing with the 870 Remington using Diamond Camo. It's my standard setup. I'm still using this at the moment because I haven't found another weapon that I like in FFA, and I'm trying to get the rest of the unlocks done on the Remington. That being said, let's get into the meat of today's topic, which is retention. And some of you guys may be asking, what the hell is retention? Well, 6 months ago, year ago or so, YouTube, the way it worked, the only thing that mattered in your YouTube ranking was likes and views. The more views you had, the more likes you had, that was all that mattered. Well, the problem with that was, and some of you guys may be aware of this, is reply girls. Basically, people would post thumbnails of rather well-endowed chicks with low-cut shirts. They'd put up, topic that was kind of interesting, like, girl gets half naked on cam, and post those, pictures up, and people would click on their video. Not only that, but they would copy the tags for somebody's very popular video. So let's say Ray William Johnson or Phil DeFranco posts a video talking about something, they would mirror the tag so it would show up in the related search. So somebody watches one of those guys' videos, and all of a sudden this chick with big boobs, and we're men, we're controlled by our penises. As soon as we see that, ooh, let's click. You click on it, and it's some, skinny white dude talking about, what he did at the garage sale last weekend. And you're like, what the fuck? So you click off. Well, that video had absolutely zero content in it. Nobody was watching it. Nobody liked it. It wasn't doing YouTube or the partner any good. And that person was making a living off of. You're basically being tricked in. So YouTube fixed that by adding in retention. And what retention means, and the goal of retention, is view time. The only thing that matters now about YouTube for your rank is how long people watch your video and your videos. So if you've got, let's say, an hour-long video, and people watch 10 seconds or 30 seconds of it, and then they click off and go somewhere else, then the next time your video, somebody searches for what your video is related to or supposed to be related to, it's going to show up lower. And then if on average people only watch like 5 or 6% of your content, your video and accordingly your channel will disappear off of YouTube. So a lot of people, this killed reply girls and that whole scheme basically overnight. The unfortunate thing is there's a lot of people out there that had content that, they're very popular YouTubers, but their content didn't have great retention. People would watch like 10 minutes of like a 45-minute clip, and then they click off. Well, this hurts that partner's channel. And so that partner now drops in the rankings, and then their views, reduce over time. And before, you know it, that channel's dropped 40, 50, 60, 70% in views over 6 months. And a lot of partners noticed this last summer. You'll notice if you go back and look at some of their Twitter accounts, a lot of big names were talking about, my views are down, my views are down. And a lot of them contributed it to changes in YouTube. And YouTube did a lot of other changes which may have had effects on it. But I think retention is a big part of that. So what is retention and how does it work? Well, I've already given you guys the basics of it, but a lot of people will be immediately thinking, well, if I just have 2-minute videos, then people are going to, watch 2 minutes and then I win. Not necessarily, because it's also total engagement time. So let's say you post a 2-minute video, somebody comes and watches that 2-minute video and then it clicks off and they go elsewhere on YouTube. Well, you only got 2 minutes of retention. So yes, your videos are watched 100%, but they don't stay on your channel. Now let's say somebody's got a 30-minute video. Somebody comes and watches 15 minutes of that video and then goes and watches another 20-minute video and then another 10-minute video and another 5-minute video. That obviously hooked that person. So while that 1 or 2 video may not have gotten watched all the way through, their channel was watched for the entire duration of that time. So that kind of shows YouTube that your channel is at least engaging, and that brings your numbers up. So it's not necessarily about short or length. I mean, obviously, if people are only watching 7 or 8 or 10 minutes on your channel, you want to bring your videos as close to that time frame as possible so that it'll help out. Now, what does this do? Well, it means in related search, like when somebody watches another video on YouTube and your video pops up, the better your retention, the more likely you are to pop up in those recommended videos. Not only that, but one of the big numbers that most YouTubers care about, unless you're with a partnership that has you at a fixed rate, in which case it doesn't matter, is CPM. A CPM stands for cost per mile, or basically how much you get paid per 1,000 monetized views. So, depending on who you're with, that number will vary widely. I think Machinima pays somewhere between $150 and $250 for most of their partners at a fixed rate. For them, retention doesn't matter. Honestly, it's a fixed rate. It doesn't matter. But for those people like me who are on a rev share, retention means a lot, because let's say you've got, maybe 30% retention. Well, you're going to be pulling somewhere, pretty low. You're going to be doing maybe $2 or lower in CPM, dollars per thousand. Well, if you have really high retention, then you're going to notice that CPM is going to start coming up. And apparently advertisers have the ability to pick retention wise when they're setting up their ads to run. So when they're paying Google, they can choose to run on better setups. So it's amazing how if you can go from low retention, and I found this out over the summer when I started my Minecraft channel, what the difference between average and slightly below average is versus average and above average, and it's like $2 CPM. So now, granted, that's my personal experience, and your experience may vary with your partnership, but most partnered networks will agree that retention does affect CPM. So stop focusing on likes, favorites, and views. Start focusing on keeping the viewers entertained for longer periods of time on your channel, for longer periods of time, and watching your entire video as opposed to 5 or 6 seconds or whatever. And you guys are going to notice a lot of a change just across the board. So hopefully you guys found this video interesting and helpful. If you did, please click that like button. Later on this week, we'll be covering other topics and such. So you'll definitely want to subscribe so you don't miss out on those. And I'll catch you guys in the next clip.